Good morning, the 25th of March 2023. Now, I have an earlier video on these electric cars, and it's great. I think it's great to debate them. And I no sooner had I one posted up when a friend texted me to say, you didn't deal with the environmental impacts. Now, what I was doing there, and the way my mind was set on that was, we're dealing with whether you should buy. A lot of people don't care two hoots where the fuel comes from or where anything comes from. But some people do want to be green and all that sort of stuff. So I left that out of the earlier one. You make your decision on what suits you. But if you want to go into the ethical effect of it, the real effect of it, you must remember we are being lied to and are being lied to big time. Electric cars are made with lithium batteries, which are a huge detrimental damage to the environment, and they're taking lithium and wasting it in these yokes when that lithium for future generations is a finite resource. I'm very much against that. Now, they're mining them in parts of Africa with little kids as young as 12 and 13. If you're all right with that, fair enough. It's up to the industry to show us how they're getting around that. The other thing is that China has dominated the whole market for lithium. They have it conquered everywhere, and you'll find they'll very soon be in charge of lithium mining in Africa and South America. And the Chinese are taking over the whole thing while the West is lying and convincing themselves that they're virtue signaling, that they're good, that they're green. This is all lies. Windmills do not save electricity beyond about 2 or 3% of the total fossil fuel required. I've been arguing that for years. We should be seeing it now in that we have 4,000 megawatts of wind installed in the Republic of Ireland, and we're burning gas the same as ever. They're not analysing it over a year. They take one day when there's wind and they put in the paper how much it produced. That is not the scientific or real way to gauge it. But be that as it may, I think I have no problem convincing 90% of people that if the wind's not blowing and the sun's not shining, you have no green energy at all. There are some idiots in Ireland and in the rest of the world who cannot accept that. That's because it's a religion with them. It's not a scientific point. Now, the thing is about the electric cars is, where does the electricity come to charge them? Whether it's the point on the street or at your home. A lot of people think that the food on the supermarket shelves appears out of magic. A lot of people think that the electricity coming through the socket on the wall appears from nowhere. No, it doesn't. It's created from fuel, coal, oil, gas, and it used to be peat in Ireland. It's created from coal, oil, gas. I have two internal combustion engine generators on my farm, one diesel, one petrol. It will not run without it. It'll stop. I think that is most people accept. Would you believe it that there's thickos so damn thick that they don't realise that? So the power is put into the grid. It loses 7% in Ireland before it gets to the distribution point. It's put into the car. It loses a bit charging the battery, and it charges the battery. It's then fed into motors, and that's your power to the wheel. And if you want heat, that's coming out of fossil fuel as well. And if you want the wipers on the radio and the lighting, that's all from the fossil fuel at the power station. And nod day, there may be a bit of wind blowing. It may lift the weight off, but you can't really turn off your boilers, which are 12 hours to start up. And if you start and stop them 3 or 4 times a week, they will not last. If you start using your gas turbines and your very precise turbines, I did a video on this, in a way that's erratic and powering them up and down. I mean, the power that's in them is about the power in even one unit is about 150 big tractor engines or 100 large articulated lorry engines. If you start beating them like that, they'll break, and that's what happened at Whitegate. So it's not a viable option. But the thing about it is, you must ask the question, where is the electricity to charge your electric car coming from? It's coming from coal, oil and gas. Where is your lithium come from? It's coming from the labour of young boys and girls. Now, for the last 2 years, SSE Electricity had an advertisement that their electricity was 100% renewable. 100% renewable. I made a complaint to the Advertising Standards Authority. He shot it down viciously and said I was an idiot and that it was 100% renewable. He gave me all the reasons why. There, a month ago, he was forced to order them to stop. Maybe 2 months. He was ordered them to stop, that it wasn't 100% renewable. It was lies. The whole thing was lies. So I didn't succeed in forcing him to take it down. His corruption meant that that it was left up, but then he was forced by someone, I don't know for what reason, perhaps somebody challenged him for a court or something. In any event, he ordered all the electricity suppliers, like DSB, Gosh, and all of them, to stop using the label 100% renewable, because it's not true. Not true. It's a lie. What do I see the other day on the television? SSE Electricity saying they're 100% green. 100% green. Do you see the lies you're being told? And you sit into your electric car and you think you're driving with SSE Electricity, 100% green, and you feel good. And that is a full lie. That is misinformation. Why YouTube allows that to go up, and they have advertisements there about a little thing like the size of a loaf of bread to say it will heat a whole room. They have fellas there giving cures for Alzheimer's, for everything, for bladder, for prostate. All these quack cures are being put out there, and they let them go because they're getting paid. And I'm a farmer from Ireland, and they start knocking me off and banning me and threatening me. So the point about it is, why is the Advertising Standards Authority not clamping down on this? And why are they not fining them 4 or 5 million and publicising it? The reason is the whole media is corrupt. CORRUP, the whole media. And why is YouTube going down that? Is surely what's sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. Now, I am not saying that YouTube is allowing ads about 100% green electricity. I must make that point. I have not seen them, but I'm giving you other examples. The thing is, for now, apart from nuclear fuel, there is no alternative to coal, oil and gas. And the point is too, there's a panic in the world about will we get supplies. And there's a lot of people saying it's going to get more scarce and more scarce. I mean, if fossil fuel and gas is not needed, why did someone see fit to blow up Nord Stream 2 and cut off the Russian gas going to Germany? Surely it was considered a fairly vital component of Germany's industry. I mean, why is there such a panic over it? And then we have a government in Ireland that's telling us they're going to stop the use of fuel, and at the same time, they're panicking about the use of fuel. I mean, it doesn't add up. And your electric car is just part of all that scam. There's no difference in putting oil into a power station tank and making electric current, and putting in your electric car and putting the oil, the fuel, the petrol or diesel into the tank of the car. They all convert. You can't make energy, you can only convert it. They all convert the energy in the fuel to power and heat and light and wiper blades and all of that. Both do it. They just do it in a different way. And if you think that you're driving your electric car and you're looking good, you're being fooled. You have two labels. One, you're worse on the environment than with a petrol or diesel car, much harder on the environment for the reasons I've stated. And two, you're being made a fool of. You're being made an idiot of by the likes of Greta Thunberg, a 16-year-old schoolgirl, Meghan Merkel, who want to be up at the Oscars. Oh, we have to save the planet, and are flying all around. And all the Davos World Economic Forum said, flying around in their jets, telling us to stop using fuel. If you can't see the irony and the stupidity in that now, well then, eventually, if the whole damn thing collapses, we have Credit Suisse collapsing, we have a question over Deutsche Bank, we have the Silicon Valley Bank, Silvergate Bank, and the First Republic Bank, and the jitters really in the markets at the moment, and a jitter among world governments, are there going to be more banking collapses? If it takes that to get the Irish people and the people of the world to understand you're being lied to, L-I-E-D, lied to, that's what they're doing. You shouldn't swallow that. And my efforts is to get people to discuss it. And in that discussion that will spread the word around, that people will begin to realise how we've been hoodwinked, lied to, cheated, and how our environment is suffering with the 50,000 trout killed at the Derrybrine wind farm, the same in Donegal, the destruction of the bird life and the destruction of the habitats, and that's by stupid windmills and the placing of solar panels up on land in Meath, the best land in Ireland, for nothing. For nothing. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. After that, if you or anyone belonging to you or any people buy an electric car, good. We'll soon see. I'll talk to you as after a while, and we'll soon see. What I'm giving you now is what I'm hearing from people who have bought them. Maybe the problems will be overcome. Of course, in starting, may they'll be overcome. We'll see. We'll soon see. The big question is not whether people buy electric cars, it's whether they replace an electric car with another electric car. A thumbs up or a thumbs down and comment underneath, and we'll see what happens after that, okay?